Right now, as you are sitting there watching this video, you are moving through space at roughly 1,770 kilometers per hour. You don't feel it. The oceans don't feel it. The buildings around you don't feel it. Even the atmosphere itself moves together with the Earth so perfectly that everything appears completely still. But what if that motion suddenly stopped? Not slowed down, not gradually over millions of years, instantly. Just for 1 second. At first, this might not sound catastrophic. After all, 1 second is nothing. You blink longer than that. But in reality, if Earth suddenly stopped rotating for even a single second, it would unleash one of the most violent events imaginable. Civilizations would collapse almost instantly. Entire cities would disappear. The oceans themselves would begin moving across continents. And the terrifying part is this: the Earth would not need to explode. Physics alone would destroy almost everything. To understand why, we first need to realize something strange about our planet. The Earth is rotating incredibly fast. A full rotation takes 24 hours, which sounds slow because we experience it gradually. But at the equator, the surface of the Earth moves at roughly 1,670 kilometers per hour. That is faster than the speed of sound. Every human, every building, every ocean, every airplane, all of it is already moving at this speed right now. We simply don't notice because everything around us moves together. It's similar to sitting inside an airplane traveling at 900 kilometers per hour inside the cabin. Everything feels calm because the air, the seats, and your body all share the same motion. But if the plane suddenly stopped mid-air while your body continued moving forward, the result would be catastrophic. And that comparison is still tiny compared to what would happen to Earth. Because if the planet suddenly stopped rotating, the surface would stop first. But almost everything on it would continue moving at up to 1,670 kilometers per hour. Humans, cars, oceans, and even the atmosphere would suddenly be thrown eastward at supersonic speed. Entire cities would become fields of debris within seconds. Buildings are designed to withstand gravity, storms, and earthquakes. They are not designed to survive being hit sideways by the equivalent of hypersonic shockwaves. Skyscrapers would twist apart. Bridges would collapse instantly. Forests would flatten as if crushed by invisible explosions. And the closer you are to the equator, the worse it becomes. Near the poles, the rotational speed is much slower. But around the equator, where billions of people live, the surface speed reaches its maximum. Places like Indonesia, Brazil, India, and large parts of Africa would experience the full force of the catastrophe. The destruction would happen faster than human reaction time. Most people would never even understand what was happening. But this is only the beginning, because the atmosphere would continue moving too. Earth's atmosphere rotates together with the planet. It has momentum, and momentum does not disappear instantly. If the Earth stopped rotating, the atmosphere would continue, racing around the planet at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. That means the entire world would suddenly experience winds stronger than anything in human history. Not hurricanes, not tornadoes, something far beyond them. The fastest tornadoes ever recorded reach around 480 kilometers per hour. This would be more than 3 times stronger. Entire mountainsides could erode under the force of the air itself. Dust, steel, concrete, glass, vehicles, and human bodies would be swept into gigantic atmospheric shockwaves circling the globe. The sky would become a wall of destruction. Airports would vanish. Power grids would collapse. Satellites and communication systems would fail. And then the oceans would arrive. Because water also carries Earth's rotational momentum, the oceans would not simply stay in place after the planet stopped. They would continue moving eastward at enormous speed. And unlike humans or buildings, oceans contain unimaginable mass. The result would be global megatsunamis unlike anything Earth has ever experienced. Walls of water hundreds of meters high would sweep across coastlines. Entire countries could disappear beneath moving oceans. New York, Tokyo, Shanghai, London. Some of the largest cities in human history exist near coastlines. Most would be destroyed within minutes. And the terrifying part is that the oceans would not just create waves. they would actually begin redistributing themselves around the planet. Right now, Earth's rotation slightly pulls ocean water outward around the equator through centrifugal force. That is why Earth is not a perfect sphere. It bulges slightly in the middle. If rotation suddenly stopped permanently, that bulge would disappear. Water would slowly begin migrating toward the poles. Over time, entire continents near the equator would emerge while massive new oceans formed closer to the North and South poles. The geography of Earth itself would change, but before any of that long-term transformation happened, civilization would already be gone. And yet even this still isn't the most disturbing part. Because the Earth's rotation affects more than oceans and weather. It also shapes time itself on our planet. Right now, the sun appears to rise and set because Earth rotates once every 24 hours. If Earth stopped rotating permanently while still orbiting the sun, an entirely new world would emerge. One side of Earth would face the sun continuously. The other side would remain in darkness. A single day would last an entire year. For months, one half of the planet would bake under constant sunlight. Temperatures could rise beyond what most ecosystems can survive. Oceans would evaporate. Deserts would expand across continents. Storm systems would become unimaginably violent. Meanwhile, the dark side of Earth would freeze. Without sunlight for months at a time, temperatures would collapse far below anything humans are adapted for. Entire oceans near the dark side could begin freezing over. Human civilization developed under stable cycles of day and night. Remove that balance, and agriculture itself becomes nearly impossible. Entire ecosystems would collapse. But there is another hidden problem. Earth's rotation also contributes to the magnetic dynamo inside the planet's core. Deep beneath your feet, liquid iron moves through Earth's interior, helping generate the magnetic field that protects us from solar radiation. Scientists are not entirely certain what would happen if Earth suddenly stopped rotating, but there is a possibility that over time, the magnetic field could weaken dramatically. And if that happened, the consequences would extend far beyond climate. Without a strong magnetic field, Earth becomes exposed to charged particles from the sun. Radiation levels at the surface could rise. Satellites would fail more frequently. Electrical systems could become unstable. Over extremely long periods, the atmosphere itself could slowly begin eroding into space. Mars may have experienced something similar billions of years ago. Today, Mars is cold, dry, and mostly lifeless, partly because it lost much of its magnetic protection. And suddenly, this scenario no longer feels like simple science fiction, because rotation is not just movement. It is part of the system that keeps Earth alive. But there is something even stranger about all of this. The Earth has never truly been still. Not for a single moment. The Earth rotates around its axis. It orbits the Sun at roughly 107,000 kilometers per hour. The Sun itself moves around the Milky Way at around 828,000 kilometers per hour. And the Milky Way itself moves through the universe. Everything is moving, constantly. The stability we feel is actually an illusion created by shared motion. You feel stationary only because everything around you moves with you. And perhaps that is one of the strangest realizations in all of science. Human civilization exists on top of a spinning rock flying through space at enormous speed. Yet our brains evolved to experience it as perfectly calm. But what if the stop lasted only 1 second? Would humanity survive? Possibly. But the damage would still be catastrophic. Even if Earth resumed rotating after 1 second, the momentum transfer would already have happened. The atmosphere and oceans would still continue moving violently. Massive earthquakes could occur as Earth's crust adjusted to the sudden stress. Volcanic activity might increase across the planet. Entire transportation systems would collapse instantly. And millions or perhaps billions of people could die depending on how abruptly the stop occurred. Modern civilization is built around stability, electricity, communication, food supply chains, transportation. All of it depends on predictable planetary behavior. A sudden interruption of Earth's rotation would destroy that predictability immediately. And yet, despite how terrifying this scenario sounds, it reveals something important. The Earth is not a static world. It is an incredibly delicate balance of motion, gravity, atmosphere, magnetism, and energy all working together continuously. We often imagine survival as something permanent, but in reality, life on Earth depends on countless invisible systems, functioning perfectly every second. The atmosphere protects us, gravity holds us, the magnetic field shields us. Rotation stabilizes our climate. Most of the time, we never think about these things, because they have always been there. But the universe does not guarantee stability forever. Planets change, stars die, galaxies collide. Even the Earth itself has gone through mass extinctions before humans ever existed. And one day, long after humanity is gone, the Earth will change again. Perhaps oceans will vanish. Perhaps the sun will consume the planet entirely. The universe is constantly evolving. What feels permanent to us is often only temporary on cosmic timescales. And maybe that is the unsettling beauty of all this. Right now, beneath your feet, the Earth is spinning at supersonic speed. You are moving through space faster than a bullet. The planet beneath you is rotating, orbiting, traveling through the galaxy,